Um, last week I threw some doozies, and we're just going to highlight that for a moment because I asked for a temporary shift of perspective last week when we talked about heaven or hell. I asked you to consider the reverse energy of the human events that we generally define as heaven and hell. I suggested last week that, contrary to the stereotypical casting, we consider that the hard times or the dark nights of the soul are actually heaven, because we're learning, we're uncovering and identifying the truth of who we are as we navigate those dark nights. These are the nurturing life moments that create the fertile grounds for all of our transformational stories. And by default, the scenarios when we emerge through the other side and we have the infamous aha moment of revealing our true selves, those moments are actually hell, because we can't remain in that victory status if we want to continue to evolve and know thyself. We feel the burn of the journey during those moments, and we return back to Heaven's Gate for yet another round. So this week, I may push the envelope a little bit further. You played along so well last week, and I really appreciate that. And hopefully it just made you look at things from a different perspective. I feel like that's what our jobs for each other are to do, right? Let's push that envelope a little bit. So this week, we're going to ponder if life is really happening to us or it's happening for us. And ultimately, we might just discern if either of those realities matters in the perspective of the infinite.
Are you going to have them close their eyes?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, sometimes we plan things ahead of time, and I don't get the right nod, or I don't get the cue, but I'm here. Dark night, jaw tight, teeth clenched, soul not right, and eyes wide, heart pounds quick, breaths to the only sound in gut check, suspect, train wreck is up in view, and this pain is gonna have a talking to you, sleeping might be the proper thing to do, but suddenly you're having up with leaning on too well. This isn't fair, and this isn't right. This can't be happening to me tonight. Well, it isn't, my friend, no, it's happening for you. Front steps, empty nest, heavy sigh on your chest. Summer moon, late June, it's high time we told the truth, and words come, worlds fall, tears drop, and angels called, and lifetimes of memories are rushing that you're running might be the perfect thing to do, but heaven is forming all around you. Well, this isn't fair, and this isn't right. This can't be happening to me tonight. Well, it isn't, my friend, no, it's happening for you. For you. For your highest good is what it's after. Lessons and blessings disguised as disasters to wake you and shake you, break and reshape you into something else entirely brand new. Breaks Slam, steel, ram, traffic jams, broken plans and loose lips, pink slips, short sales and doctor trips, and last dime, last in line, broken-hearted valentines and white lies, morning cries, MRIs and flat lines. And yes, this is real, and yes, this is right. But no, this isn't happening to you tonight. Well, it isn't, my friend. And it isn't the end. Well, it isn't, my friend. It's happening for you. For your highest good is what it's after. Lessons and blessings disguised as disasters to wake you and shake you, break and reshape you into something else entirely brand new.
Oh, we humans, we love a great story, don't we? The more colorful and flavorful the adjectives we can often paint and embellish, even. One of our experiences is such a fine art of humanity, wouldn't you agree? But I want you to, for a moment, maybe close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that. And I want to pull in some of the phrasing from Bob's song, Happening For You, that he just sang. Jaw tight, soul not right, quick breaths, gut check, train wreck up in view, empty nest, tears drop, brakes slam, broken plans, doctor trips, white lies, flat lines. None of those phrases contain embellishment. They're simply things that we could, as humans, possibly experience. Yet, when we hear them, maybe as you were feeling into those phrases as I read them, we can immediately teleport ourselves into a past, present, or future scenario where we, someone we love, or someone we barely even know might have experienced or could potentially set themselves up to experience one of those things. So honor whatever might have come up for you as you were hearing those particular phrases, and even as you were listening to Bob's song, just honor that memory, honor that thing, honor that energy that showed up. Say, thank you, I got you, I'm paying attention, it's some kind of message. And know that we have a beautiful ability to relate emotions with other stories. And sometimes we fill in the story from our own perspective. So I'm going to invite you back. Sometimes our ability to fill in our story and even somebody else's story, it's probably worth a Pulitzer Prize, yeah? We are pretty good at that. We constantly analyze from a very, very unique, personalized viewpoint, our own. And that can't translate to another person's personal experience. We weigh the pros and cons. We determine if a situation is for our or their highest good, or if it was a waste of our or their time. We qualify it, we quantify it, we regret, we embarrass, we honor, we contemplate. Did it happen to us? Did it happen for us? Some might say that happening to us sounds the ego alarm. It clearly relates to our humanness, to our separate or our lower self, and we can easily be pulled into victim mentality and feel that the world is conspiring to create a never-ending series of hurdles and long jumps for us to master. Some might say that happening for us is a higher vibration. It's a perspective that leads us to a deeper understanding and connection with our essence, our true self, our soul, our infinite spark that never dies. We can create a theme of great spiritual complexity and feel like the world is conspiring to create never-ending series of lessons and blessings simply disguised as disasters. For a moment, let's agree that both perspectives, whether it's happening to us or for us, are the same. Because both scenarios must be experienced in human form. Therefore, there's an ego-essence connection in both of them, even if one tends more to one side or the other. If we can qualify or quantify any situation, we will always experience it as a human. And there will either be an ego-triggered or an ego-stroked. The human body and ego are required for our soul's evolution. The human narrative supplies us so many opportunities to inch closer and closer to the divine being and essence that we truly are. Yet in order to reach the absolute truth, like absolute with a capital A, absolute truth, we have to effectively identify and disembody from the ego while still remaining in physical form. From this viewpoint, we must alter and completely separate the ego, the body self, that we believe we are, from the essence, the true self, that we know we are, in order to fully transcend this human experience. And I want to share a story about a beautiful gentleman that we met several years ago, probably 6 or 7 years ago now. Mm-hmm. His name is Richard Moore. He's an Irish lad. And when he was 10 years old, he was walking home from school. This is 1972. There was a bit of a conflict going on in Ireland. And 10 years old, walking home from school, and from 10 feet away, a soldier who was firing rubber bullets for crowd control actually hit Richard Moore right in his forehead and blinded him instantly for life. And Richard, we had a beautiful opportunity to hear him share his own story. And one of the things that I think captured both of us, because we've mentioned it many times since then, he said, I shed a tear. I'll be honest, I shed a tear because I would never see my parents' faces again. He said, but really, all I could think of was, how do you think the soldier feels? 10 years old, and he says, how do you think the soldier feels about shooting a little 10-year-old boy and blinding him for life? In 2007, Richard went on, he said he received a settlement from the government, and of course he's Irish, so he opened a pub and sold that and opened another pub, and he's like, no, like, I've got to do something about this. Like, I have something in me that needs to come out. And so he started an organization called Children in Crossfire. ChildrenInCrossfire.org is the website. And in 2007, they were celebrating, I want to say, the 10th anniversary of Children in Crossfire, and the Dalai Lama visited Derry and showed up. And these are the words that the Dalai Lama said about and to Richard Moore. Whether you believe it or not, you are my hero and a wonderful son of humanity. Despite your tremendous painful experience, you don't have any anger or hate. You accept what has happened and keep your peace of mind. You are a good example and model. So this 10-year-old boy had the consciousness, had the essence, had the truth of himself that overcame that ego, that body self. Like, this happened to me, right? This is something that happened that I am going to be impacted for the rest of my life to my physical body, but that physical body is not me. I find in my heart a way to forgive and show compassion for that soldier that pulled that trigger. And there was a beautiful moment as well when he and the soldier actually met in person, and the Dalai Lama was also present for that and has a beautiful thing to share. Like, that's true friendship, when you can come from compassion and you can come from forgiveness. That is a true friendship that nobody else might understand that level and that depth. So from that standpoint, I want to invite us to really, Bob's going to play a song. It's called Same Energy, and I want to invite us to use the tool of the song, use the lyrics of the song as a meditation, to really sink in and listen. This song was inspired by us meeting Richard Moore and hearing his story and sitting with him at the table and seeing the joy on his face and the smiles and everything else that goes along with that. And so I would really invite you to just sink in, if you're comfortable closing your eyes, and listen to the words of the song and find where you might feel that connection to some of the lyrics throughout the song.
It's the same energy that moved the bullet, parted his skin and made his lights go dark. It's the force that moved his hand to reach out, forgive and open up his heart. The same energy that pulled the teardrop from the corner of his blinded eye. It's the energy that drew the holy man, a humble witness to his side. The same energy that raised the barrel, pulled the trigger, released the pin. That's the energy that created the memory of all the faces he'd never see again. The same energy that took his sight, made his third eye come to life, see the children cry. That's the force that ignited his vision and turned his compassion into action. It's the same. No good, no bad, just the same. The same energy, and our intention can make it change. It's the same energy that makes the whiskey, that makes the glass, that makes the ice, that moves the foot to push down the pedal, twist the metal, snuff out the life. The same energy that vibrates to make the sound of the sirens and the bells. That's the hum of the silence in the cathedral where 1,000 hearts they fell. It's the same. No good, no bad, just the same. The same energy, and our intention can make it change. It can be affected, directed, projected, course corrected, and perfected from within. It's not a chance, it's a choice, it's a still small voice, it's a single thread and it runs right through. Imagine the world with the push of a button, start a whole new universe with the wink of an eye. You can make love, make peace, make war, make a difference, raise the vibe. It's the same energy that makes you move mountains, burn bridges, that keep you in your bed. It's the force that moves your spirit to start a revolution in your head. It's the same energy that makes the flood and moves the blood and places the blame. It turns on the power and raises the flower. It raises the eyebrow. It raises the game. It's the same, same, same. The same, same, same. The same, same, same. And our intention can make it change.
Did you feel any of that? So, again, honor whatever came up, whatever was triggered inside of you, whatever memories came up, just honor that with a bow, with a nod, with a thank you, right? Memories come up for a reason. It's just a little reminder, hey, this is still in you. Let's take a look at it, right? Richard Moore. I encourage you to look at that website, childrenincrossfire.org. He does some amazing work. For a moment, I would like to make a new agreement with you for the purpose of contemplation. So if everything is truly birthed from the same energy, we must choose to describe life as either heaven or hell. This three-dimensional life that we believe to be our current reality, for the moment, we'll call that hell. All of it. All of it. The indications then are that the human experience is only designed as a journey through the subconscious, the lower world, through the depths of our imprints, our patterns, our programming. If everything, the good, the bad, and everything in between that we can relate to our human experience is all the same energy, then we have a pretty serious conundrum. I can already see eyes going, oh. Think about the ups and the downs of world cultures over centuries and millennia, not just today. If there's a neutral creative force that's the same energy creating everything, humanity must be extraordinarily adept at creating irony, contradiction, duality, and even hypocrisy. We're wired for those things. And we can definitely feel the weight of those things. And to add a big, sparkly, pretty bow on top of the gift of hell as the human experience, the word intention is rooted with growth and complications baked right into it. If you look at the etymology, it comes from 12th century Latin roots that mean a stretching, a straining, exertion, a leaning toward, an effort, and turning one's attention. So intention is not for the faint of heart. It takes work. Yet, we have full control and responsibility of choosing the intention behind our thoughts, our attention, our words, our actions, if we pause for a moment to do so. From this perspective, as we stretch our beliefs and strain our character to separate our dualistic natures of our flaws and our sins from our strengths and our virtues, we can lean toward an experience rather than turn away from it. We can concentrate our attention, our energy, and our intention in a chosen direction. With that, we can actively choose any given thought, word, action, belief, moment, experience, decision, or scenario to bring about a heavenly twist. I believe the work of the human adventure is to create and say yes to so many divine twists, turns, and bends of heavenly intention that our journey naturally begins to separate the ego and the essence. And if we're so fortunate, our essence will reverberate through hell more often than not. Our body will become the presence and the embodiment of our true self that some might call an enlightened being. Then we become a beacon for more and more lights to shine until hell, which we just agreed would temporarily be the human experience, is no longer identifiable. And I know last week I started with Dante, and I know it's edgy to take excerpts out of longer context, but I want to share again from Inferno, the Divine Comedy by Dante. I entered on the steep and savage path. Here, signs and lamentations and loud cries were echoing across the starless air, so that as soon as I set out, I wept. Strange utterances, horrible pronouncements, accents of anger, worlds of suffering, and voices shrill and faint, and beating hands, all went to make a tumult that will whirl forever through that turbid, timeless air. A whirlwind burst out of the tear-drenched earth, a wind that crackled with the bloodied light, a light that overcame all of my senses, and like a man whom sleep has seized, I fell. The heavy sleep within my head was smashed by an enormous thunderclap, so that I started up as one whom force awakens. In truth, I found myself upon the brink of an abyss, the melancholy valley containing thundering, unending wailings. That valley, dark and deep, and filled with mist, is such that though I gazed into its pit, I was unable to discern a thing. Dante portrays the journey of life as crying while making a perilous walk through the gnarly pit of hell, until the adventurer falls to surrender in a frenzy of struggle and a challenge of spirit. And with a smash on the head, there is a revelation so significant that as he awakens and recognizes the essence that he truly is, the gnarly pit is indiscernible. The ego left the building, and the world, as a perception of the beholder, was birthed anew. There's probably a reason why it's called the Divine Comedy. Yes? In these moments, we may experience a heavenly outlook on life. And then I suspect that gnarly pit of hell will come into new form and we'll find ourselves on that spiral journey again. So I return to the original contemplation with a series of questions. Does life happen to us, or does life happen for us? Is everything birthed from the same creative source? Can we experience heaven on earth without seeking the divine connection that we are to the creative energy. As we uncover pieces of ourselves that feel like the true essence, can we intentionally embody that to separate the wheat from the chaff, the essence from the ego? Is it possible to entirely let go of the ego as a human being? Considering these questions, we might describe our human experience as pretty insignificant. Yet, in those same moments, we also might hear our true self calling out to be remembered and shift into feeling extremely significant as a crazy mess of a reflection of the divine. Duality. Humans were designed as it. There's a gentleman by the name of H.L. Mencken. He was known as a controversialist. I love that. A controversialist who lived his adult life during the first half of the 1900s. He was a journalist and highly influential literary critic. He's most known for his satirical jabs at American social and cultural weaknesses. He's recognized for a statement often miscredited to Voltaire, which might sum up the human condition better than any I've ever heard before. He says this: creator, a comedian whose audience is afraid to laugh. Divine comedy. Heaven or hell? Maybe dualism is the best practical joke ever played on us humans.
Amen. I won't lie, I love to cry. I got a raging river inside, but my mind doesn't know when to let my heart go, and my soul won't let me hide. I'm a dreamer, I'm kind of lazy, but I call my crazy crazy. Yeah, I'm a wreck, I'm a holy, holy mess, but I'm sacredly awake. And I'm not here because it's home. I'm not lost and I know I'm not alone. 'Cause I see it in your eyes and I see it in the stars and I see it everywhere. That the same thing that pains me, well, it pains you. What if we are everything and we're nothing? Are we insignificant somethings? Are we hardly innocent, purely magnificent pieces of a one thing? And we rise and we fall, and we run, then we walk, then we crawl. Well, we might not have it all together, but together we have it all. And I see you in me, and me in you. And the lines get crossed and blurry, and I worry and I get so confused. 'Cause we hurt from our hurt, and we fear from our worst, and we love from the love that we won't drink of. It's an endless, bottomless thirst. And I have found that it matters, that the past is past. And if you dare to let it go and you stare down the ghost, well, the ghost stops staring back. And the same thing that pains me, well, it pains you. What if we are everything and we're nothing? Are we insignificant somethings? Are we hardly innocent, purely magnificent pieces of a one thing? And we rise and we fall, and we run, then we walk, then we crawl. Well, we might not have it all together, but together we have it all. And when you see me, you can know me, 'cause I'm a little bit of her and him. I'm a little bit of me and you. There are no strangers, and we're in danger of missing out on this truth that there are sages and there are queens. There's a seen and there is the unseen. When you gaze in the mirror, can it ever get clearer? Can you wake up from this dream that there are lies before your eyes? We're all wrapped up in a disguise. Well, the truth, it needs no proof, and it goes by many names and many languages and many faiths. So stop seeking, it's seeking you, and be still and you know that is true. If you don't believe me, there's a man by the river with a bucket of water to sell to you. And the same thing that pains me, well, it pains you. What if we are everything and we're nothing? Are we insignificant somethings? Are we hardly innocent, purely magnificent pieces of a one thing? And we rise and we fall, and we run, then we walk, then we crawl. Well, we might not have it all together, but together we have it all. And so it is. Thank you.